Welcome to the Player Supreme Show here at ZenMac.com. I am your host, Player Supreme. Yeah, fellows, welcome to the show. I was asked by a fellow that he was above average in looks, but he was wondering, why aren't females messing with them? So we determined that he was a bit on the odd side. He was kind of awkward. So I'm compiling a list of reasons why you guys might be having the same problems if you're, above average in attractiveness, or just why women ain't messing with you to begin with. And I would say that number one is that a lot of you guys are awkward. Okay? It is one of the single most important things that you've got to understand. You see, females, they're on a very simple plane. When you come in all geeked out, acting awkward, it's a total turnoff. It knocks them out of their what do you guys call it, a frame? Like a frame. You just move. If you move awkwardly, she'll sense it. And women can sense awkwardness from a mile away. They can just feel it for some reason. I guess it's part of their survival instinct, the ability to assess who is right for them. And don't hate it, because it's their survival instinct to see who is right for them. Now, you guys, you don't have such a thing, and you think you're right for every girl out there. But the girls have to have that instinct to see who is actually the right mate or right man for them. Never mind the girls who get fooled by the players. If you start thinking that way, just turn this program off. You're not listening to me. Okay? You have to listen. Women don't want to be around a dude who cannot increase their comfortability, because they want to be comfortable around a guy. They want to feel good around a guy. Okay? Did you know that? They don't want to be around someone that makes them feel uncomfortable. Are you aware of that? So when you have awkward behavior, you got awkward posture, facial expressions, you buck your eyes and you move your eyes like a fool, these are huge weaknesses in your game. These kind of things show women that you're not capable of standing next to them and being normal. A woman is looking for a man who is either her equal or her better. Preferably better. Did you hear that? Preferably better. But she'll settle for someone who is on an equal level as her. She'll settle. Doesn't mean that it makes her panties wet. Okay? She's never looking for someone who is less than her. Again, she is never looking for someone who is less than her. Think about how you come across. Scraping and bowing, simping, begging. You come across as less. Lesser men are at the bottom of the food chain. Okay? They have slim to no chance to get pussy from women. So stop that shit you're doing. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to make it as basic as possible. As easy to understand as possible. And females out there, they got options. They always have options. I don't care what they look like. Even big girls have options. I learned that. It's not just black guys fucking them either. I've seen skinny white guys with big girls. In fact, there's a whole group of Caucasian males that like to force feed women, because they enjoy these huge fat slobs, and they like it when they smush them, like something about sitting on their face. I don't understand it. But there's women out there that can find a man, is my point. It's easier for them. Someone always desperate for pussy. Okay? Women They want a man that is better than them because they do have options, but they know that at a certain age that it's important to look at these options. And they do this by applying the standard generalized test. If you're awkward person, you get none. You failed a portion of her test. All because you made her feel uncomfortable. Why do you think she would want to be with your uncomfortable making behind? You can't possibly think that. You're not even comfortable with yourself. What makes you think a woman wants a piece of that nasty shit that you're doing? That anxiety attack having, that inferiority complex having, that no confidence having. You do it to yourself. That's why a lot of them go after rich men, because they know these men can make them feel incredibly comfortable. They don't have to pay for anything. They don't have to worry about bills. They don't have to worry about a damn thing. Why do you think women stay in relationships with people that are just bad for them too? You know, a jackass. It's because they've become incredibly comfortable within that situation. Once the situation becomes uncomfortable, that's when they start to search for another situation that's more comfortable. Okay? When it comes down to it, you could say that the number one agenda for females is to find comfortability. They want to be comfortable. I mean, if you have uncomfortable and comfortable, which do you think they're going to prefer? And if you're thinking, well, why do they stay with... Don't listen to me anymore. Leave my site. Don't listen to me. You're not listening. You're thinking that you know something. And you're trying to refute what I'm saying. Okay? With comfortability, a female, she's open to become more adventurous, ambitious, fun, carefree. All these attributes will give you the upper hand. So you want to learn to put a female in a state of feeling comfortable. And all these attributes will lead her right into your bedroom. When she is comfortable, her defenses are always disabled. They go down. The force field goes down. Like you dropped a megaton bomb on it, like in Star Wars. A woman whose defenses are down shows her true colors. She won't show her true colors if you walk into an environment with a very awkward attitude. I'm going to keep harping on your awkwardness. I've talked to many of you guys online. I can see it. Okay? There's a way to get through this. But the way is to make yourself comfortable with yourself so that she can be comfortable around you. Women watch you when you enter a room, by the way. Women are always observing men. Always. Even when they're in a relationship. I'm sorry to say that. If you have a girlfriend, she's observing other men in your environment. It's her nature. It's second nature to them. And a lot of them don't even realize they're doing it half the time. They just can't help themselves, okay? Most women, they start from feet to head. But some women, they'll start from head to toe. Now, I've told you before, the reason why I look at your feet first, because your shoes can tell a woman everything she needs to know about you. So many of you guys do not pay attention to that lesson. And you wear shitty shoes. Shoddy shoes. It's a real thing. Women, mothers teach them to look at a man's shoes. So as the female's observing you walk into a room, They will notice your awkward posture. If you have lack of confidence, you're awkward, by the way. If you have low self-esteem, you are very awkward. You walk in there blinking, thinking everybody's looking at you when chicks are checking you out. Thinking that if the world is against you, you're thinking from your self-centered point of view. You're awkward. I feel for the women that were around me in my early or my late 20s when I first started going to the club, just like that. And then I was trying to use I'm special. I'm an aerobic instructor though. Oh, that just made me even more awkward. I can't believe that I survived that bullshit. And now I'm thinking of you guys. Your awkward facial expressions. She'll notice that. You think you're you're holding it real tight? That's awkward. Frozen face is awkward. Women will take notice of all the awkwardness that you're showing. After that, they will stop paying attention to you immediately. Simply because your presence has lowered their comfortability. Okay? When you have a room that has men and women, there's something that they call the comfortability temperature. The temperature can be very hot or it can be very cold. That depends on what type of men are in the room. There are different fellows out there that have the ability to increase the comfortability temperature, myself being one of them. Then there's other guys who have the ability to decrease the comfortability temperature, like my buddy Craig, who I am having breakfast with him tomorrow. Okay. This is something that you've got to be aware of, especially when you're selecting your road dogs. I made that mistake. My friend Craig, because he was in the closet about his sexuality, so he became awkward. I didn't know what the fuck was wrong with him. Because people thought he was creepy. There is 6'3", good-looking white guy. I told him to grow his hair long. That shit worked. But then when chicks got around him, they felt uncomfortable. Because he was awkward. Make sure you surround yourself with bros who can increase the comfortability temperature in a room. They're more relaxed. You know what I'm talking about. The majority of males who are listening to me, you are awkward. Remember, I've been talking to you for years. I've been seeing you in my hangouts. You're awkward. I don't care what race you are. You know that you're not like the brothers. That's why you hate the thugs, because they know how to increase the temperature in the room. They're more relaxed for chicks to hang out with. You're more uptight, and that makes you awkward. Same thing in the dominant society. You're in a room full of jocks, and there you are, the IT guy, over there thinking to yourself too much. You become awkward. I don't care if you jocked your body up. You're still awkward. It's like gay guys are awkward. You can always spot a gay guy in a room. He just moves awkwardly. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, you're on the same level as gay dudes. You're awkward. Put a gay dude in a room full of football playing jocks. He's going to move very awkwardly. So I want you to have a clear understanding of what I'm talking about and the consequences of awkwardness. Awkwardness, you get none. You've got to learn to be comfortable with yourself. That's why your confidence, your sexual confidence and prowess, okay, your self-esteem, your ability to present yourself, that's how you're dressed, your conversation skills, Everything has to be on a certain level to where you're comfortable with who you are as a man. Now, unfortunately, some people are kind of raised that way, but it's still your fault for not changing. Some people are awkward because they don't know how to communicate with other people. Some people have low self-esteem, low confidence, and that makes them incredibly awkward. Incredibly awkward. One more time, incredibly awkward. Please pay attention. Low self-esteem, low confidence, you are incredibly awkward. The very act of moving your body around in a social place is difficult. You're self-conscious. That makes you awkward. If you're constantly focusing on being able to move around in a social environment, like I used to try to hold myself tight and try to move smoothly. You lost the battle. It's over. It's a done deal. Go home. Okay? Just go home. If you find yourself doing that, go home. You're awkward. You shouldn't be focused on that. You should just be moving without thinking about it. When you think about it, then you become awkward. Because the human body doesn't move that way. And we're used to a human body moving naturally. And we can tell when it's being forced. It just hits the subconscious mind the wrong way. Once you've done that to a woman, she's turned off to you. Her pussy closes. Don't even bother looking at her. Don't even bother trying to start a conversation. Don't bother to do anything. As I said, go home. Go home. It's that serious. You get none. You're not going to get none. You're awkward. In the social environment, your body functions should work on their own. The only thing that you should be thinking about is interesting conversations. But instead we get a lot of guys, they get all clumsy, awkward, unsettled, and weird around people and women. I've had enough dealing with those guys. Good God. But the only surefire way to destroy being an incredibly awkward person is to drastically increase your confidence. See, awkwardness comes from a lack of confidence. Awkwardness comes from a lack of confidence. Okay? When it comes down to it, there are only so many different causes, but at the end of the day, all these things lead up to a lack of confidence. Yeah. A dude could have been through a lot during his life, causing awkwardness, I know that. But unfortunately, if you're interested in females' pussy, if you're interested in getting attention from females, you've got to get rid of that trait, that awkwardness. Okay? Look at your weird facial expressions. You got to learn. That's why I like public speaking again. Public speaking really helps polish you up. You want to keep your face relaxed and neutral, but still open. I like to smile. I'm getting that smile back. I've been sick for 8 years now. And I was thinking about this the other day how it's taken a lot out of me mentally. To where you guys were aware I couldn't walk very far without burning pain in the lungs, and I ended up vomiting. I've thrown up at the gym. I've thrown outside the door of the gym. And now, then I add to that, I've had the cold this lasted 5 months, so I'm back on prednisone again. But I was thinking how much it took out of my desire to grow being sick. So I know that in places I've been going to, I've been awkward. When you're sick, it erodes your confidence, it erodes your positivity, it erodes your your prosperity, and it made me awkward. No wonder why I've been feeling kind of weird, like I've become weird again, dealing with illness. So whatever you're dealing with, you still have to get rid of it. Okay? For me, it was like, oh God, I hope I don't cough and start and vomit with these people. I don't throw up food, I throw up mucus. It's usually mucus. Sometimes with some bile in it. But that's embarrassing. And when you think about that, you become awkward. What do you think about when you're around people that makes you awkward? Think about that for a minute. You can't have awkward facial expressions. It just puts everybody off. I used to do a thing where I stretch my eyes and blink them, stretch and close them. And I have to force myself not to start that again. My eyes would buck out, and I would squeeze them. That's how awkward I was. That guy Michael Nolan, he does almost the exact same thing as he described to me at one time. He's got to get rid of that facial tick that he does. Because if a girl sees that one time, it's over. It's over. She will never fuck you. Never, ever fuck you. I hope I'm relaying how important this is. You will never get laid if you're an awkward motherfucker. Period. Okay? You will never get laid if you're an awkward motherfucker or person. Blinking and shit. That makes you awkward. Like you're blinking too much. You got to have a confident, inviting face. So a little smirky smile. I could see a bunch of awkward people, so they try to do a smirky smile. See, the reason why you're going to look like you're still awkward, because you got to fix yourself inside. Okay? You got to fix yourself inside first. You got to do the fixing first, then apply the advice I'm giving you. So you guys are going to listen to me. You're going to go out there and think you're going to doing these James Bond type smiles, and you're going to look creepy as fuck. Don't believe me? Just don't listen to me. And try it. Your face should say that you're safe, that you're interesting, that you're outgoing. See, facial expressions, they have power. Because it's basically the forefront of who you are. And the different facial expressions that you make define you. Defines a person's perception of you when they look at you. If you make weird, awkward facial expressions, and somebody's probably going to write me about this. Yeah, I do that, man. Again, you got to fix yourself inside. Heal your confidence. This stuff comes out of a lack of confidence. Somewhere you got a tick and a quirk. Okay? But if you make these weird facial expressions, it makes people, that's dudes too, okay, feel weird. They'll think you, men and women will think you as a weirdo. And unfortunately, people aren't very understanding. Unfortunately, they're just not very understanding, brothers. So go look in the mirror. Try to figure out how you want to present yourself. I mean, do you want to look out of place? Do you want to look confused? Do you want to look like a killer? A serial killer? Do you want to look like a racist? I hope you thought no. What you want to look like, fellas, is a winner. Okay? What you want to look like is a winner. So go stand in front of the mirror right now and play with your facial expressions. Find one that looks like it conveys confidence, power, and fun. Of course, it's hard to fake it. You can't really fake it. You want to. I'm referring to guys who have built the confidence mostly, but you want to build your confidence, of course, first. But they have the saying, "Fake it till you make it." So try to fake it while you're building that. Go start working on your confidence, and then practice your confident face. I know mine is. One eye is slightly squinted. On that same side, my little smirk goes up. I had that same smile on today when I went to the AM/PM and got a coffee. A black woman spoke to me. Usually black women don't speak to me. But I've been feeling good lately. I'm on prednisone, so my body is regenerating itself. My shoulder, that's been injured for 7 months, is starting to repair itself. Prednisone is a steroid for your immune system. And I've been on antibiotics. So I'm starting to feel better. To give you a personal example of what it's like, not to whine about myself, but I became very complacent. I became very complacent about my illness. I became complacent about what I'm doing in business. I was actually waiting for money to come to me. And then I realized it's not going to come. It's not going to come. And I realized I had become complacent. I realized some time ago. And I said to myself, I got to break this. But first I got to heal myself inside. I finally had enough and went to the doctor and, got the medicine I need to start healing. And I'm feeling much more confident. So I've been carrying that confidence with me every day. There's nothing like being sick that erodes your confidence. Yeah. So I've been carrying this extra confidence. Plus I started that class. That gave me another boost of confidence. But I was afraid to teach it because it's cold out there. It affects my lungs, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, another story. But my old confidence, that old power, is growing again, is my point. And that woman next to me, and I've been seeing this, they can feel it. Women can feel it in a man. It's the way you carry yourself. Now, a lot of you guys are going to become really self-conscious of yourselves, and that's going to make you awkward. It's going to make you awkward. It's a certain feeling that you want to tap into. When you have the feeling, your body will respond. So get the feeling first. Let your body respond from the feeling. And I know I'm talking to some males who are very left brain, very robotic. But that's all I can say. I don't know how to translate to robot language, to extreme left brain. I'm right brain, feely, so I don't know how to communicate to you. I'm trying to tell you how it works for me. And I've read from other success books that that's one of the ways to do it. It starts inside. The way you feel inside. That means you have to tap into emotions. I know some of you guys run from emotions, but unfortunately, these are good emotions that you want to tap into. Okay? Then you'll see a difference. You'll see a difference in how people react to you. You'll notice a positive difference. So for me, in the past, I just had that anger about me because I was sick. I was pissed off. I was in darkness. And I was dragging around some darkness, I should say. I wasn't fully down there, fellas. I don't ever go down there because I recognize when I'm going down, and I know how to pull myself up. But to be at the top of my power, that's my goal for 2017, to return to my state of power, full power. And I know it's going to take about 90 days to make it permanent. So as I was talking about your facial expressions, your emotions want to match your expressions. If your emotions don't match expressions, it looks fake. You got a smile on your face, Fake smile. That's so damn obvious. And I realize many of you guys are unhappy. You don't have a woman that will come home and make you lunch, or some of you guys live with your mommies. That makes you unhappy. You know what makes you unhappy? You're not being men. You don't have a woman by your side. That's unhappiness. That unhappiness affects your entire life. It affects your prosperity. It affects your well-being. It affects your health. Believe me, I've been to the darkness. So I'm teaching you from what I've experienced. Can you understand that? I'm not giving you some theory shit. This is real life shit. So you can't really fake a smile. It'll look more like a grimace. You want to feel it. That's why in my product on POF, I told you with your photos, I'll give you the same tip again, I've given it before. You want to have your smile have that little twinkle in your eyes. If you look at my main photo, you see the sparkle in the eyes. How did I do that? I thought of the first car that I owned. 1967 Riviera Grand Sport. Had the Rolodex odometer. I used to walk by that car and I'd touch it on the way to work. And I just knew I was going to own it as I was saving up the money. It was for sale. Nobody would buy it. I was the idiot that bought it because he had a broken A-frame, I think, or some kind of motor mount or something in there. I stepped on the gas and the engine would actually hit the hood, rise up if I stepped on the gas too fast, but I love that car. 67 Riviera Grand Sport. That was a cruiser. 458 engine. I go down and put $2 gas in there. Back then, gas was 25 cents, 27 cents a gallon. You can hear the happiness in my voice. Okay? Think of things that made you happy. I was recanting my first date to my ex-wife a couple of weeks ago, or about a week ago. I was remembering that. But I couldn't remember what movie. She doesn't remember what movie we saw either. But I was remembering how happy I felt when I finally got my first date. My first date was like, wow, I did it. And then I remember the first kiss. Her mom was in her apartment watching her kids. She told me she only had one kid. She ended up having two because the other one was 18 months. The other was like 6 months. But that's okay. I was desperate. I'd taken her out. I'd taken her to dinner. And I took her home. And I got my first kiss, fellas. See, I'm smiling right now. And that's when you want to snap the photo. When you have emotion. I'm sorry, but being robot men, being very controlled, is very awkward around normal people, especially women. Okay? I know that you probably read those ebooks that said you've got to empty yourself of all emotions. I tried that shit to become like Spock. Now I'm from the original Star Trek. To be cold and unemotional. And I told my ex-wife emotions are illogical. I used to walk around with my hands behind my back. I had hair then, so I combed it backwards like a black Dracula, as I said so many times in my shows before. I was awkward. How I got her, I guess she was just that desperate. An awkward motherfucker like me. And of course, I was thinking in my head all the time, trying to be a certain way. You got to relax, fellas. Your awkwardness is killing your game. So, as I was saying, the fake smile, is not going to work. If you're not happy in life, that's a lot of you guys' problem. You carry it around with you. Your desperation, your unhappiness. If you're jacking off, that makes you creepy. When you jack off a lot, you think differently, by the way. And you don't see women as they truly are. Many of you will tend to objectify them and all that. They're not human beings. I've seen this with actually with the Trump election. I've seen that. Not to do an anti-Trump guy. I get up on that. He's our president. We'll see what he does. But the man raped a 13-year-old. Guys who whack off, it doesn't mean anything to them because they probably watch rape videos. I've noticed that with a lot of males. It didn't mean anything to him. It didn't mean anything to him the comments he said about his daughter. They were just totally inappropriate. But that's a European thing. Again, no racial. I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to move on. So, you have to change inside, as I've been trying to teach all of these years. Okay? Now, here's something that works that Anthony Robbins talks about. Change the way you carry your body, you change your state. Now, the weird thing is, though, if you start smiling, for some reason you start to feel better. Try not to smile when there are people around, that are important to you. So just start trying to smile. And try to smile. Eventually, you actually start to feel better. Then people will become comfortable when they come into contact with your energy. And that's what it's all about. Energy. These females, they feel your energy. And that's what attracts them to you. Some guys have weak energy. Okay. Some guys have strong energy. And tomorrow I'll talk about the benefits of how you can have weak energy but still be in the game. Until next time.